Finally, we have an episode of The Simpsons that is all about Marge. This is episode 9, Life on the Fast Lane. Up until this point, the show has mostly focused on Bart and Homer and a little bit of Lisa, but now we have time for Marge to shine. And I really like this episode because I feel like it really gives us the epitome of the Marge Simpson that we come to know and love throughout the seasons that follow. And in this episode, which is directed by David Silverman, Marge has a birthday and she becomes quite frustrated because Homer gets her a bowling ball for her birthday. Homer is not attentive to her needs at all. And she decides to use the bowling ball out of spite, even though Homer actually really wants to use it himself. And while she's at the bowling alley, she encounters this individual who is very suave, very smooth, very much a ladies' man, a bit of a player as well. And she begins to spend more time with him to get bowling lessons. He begins to teach her how to bowl, but they start up a bit of a potentially romantic relationship. And of course, Marge, being dutiful and loyal to Homer, begins to doubt that she should even be having these bowling lessons. And it gives us a really great look into who Marge is as a woman. And up until this point, we've only known Marge the mother. And I think that that is exactly the kind of episode we needed to get to know Marge a little bit better and to know how she feels living beneath Homer. Because on the one hand, she's the head of the household, she organises the school lunches, she's the timekeeper, she's in charge of the finances. But Homer is, of course, the breadwinner at the end of the day and should be caring for her. And he doesn't do a very good job of that, even though we can tell that he loves her. I think it's a really brilliant episode, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. We have some really beautiful animations in this. There's a kind of dreamlike dance sequence that I think was really entertaining. It gave us some really great colours. Love the colour they chose for Marge's hair at that moment. I love the character progression we get with Marge. I loved the scenes where Homer was in charge of the household and taking care of Bart and Lisa, and I used taking care of in air quotes because he didn't do the best job of it. I also love the look at Lisa we get here, where she's kind of trying to encourage Bart that he's in denial about the whole situation, and Bart's not having any of it. I thought it was very funny, but also very meaningful and very emotional. A lot of people will be in similar situations, and I think it's probably quite relatable. I thoroughly adored it from start to finish. I love the role reversal between Homer and Marge, and finally getting a chance to know Marge. We also get to spend more time with Patty and Selma. They have featured briefly before this, but to be honest, they're not my favourite characters. They do give us some brilliant episodes, and they're very well written characters, but in terms of watching them, I'm never really that bothered. Life on the Fast Lane is an absolute joy. It's got so much going on. As Marge's first chance to shine, I think they did a great job with it. And they kind of, reeled her back in a bit and then threw the line a little bit wider and reeled her back in again and threw the line out again. And it could have gone any way. I think they developed this very well. I really liked it a lot. Visually, of course, it's an absolute joy. It's not the funniest Simpsons episode. There are not that many gags and one-liners that I found that pleasing, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was a lot of fun. As a look into Marge, I don't think they could have done it better. Life on the Fast Lane is pretty great.